Hello, and welcome to Where You Not Entertained, where two film fans discuss their favorite flicks. I'm Daniel,
And I'm James.
and we are going to be covering The Witcher again tonight.
Yep, episode 6.
Episode 6.
Yeah, this is one. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but this series is like The Mandalorian, where they have different directors for most of the episodes, right?
I believe that that's the case, but I honestly...
This is the
Not
episode that
positive.
made me think so,
Okay.
because it had a very different feel than the majority of the rest of the episodes. For me, it kind of felt more, and I know this is going to sound like a slight, but more sci-fi, like this TV channel, the cable channel sci-fi.
Yeah.
It in the best way possible, like, you know, Firefly or SG-1 kind of,
Yeah.
you know, a dragon hunt, for Christ's sake, and
Right.
a mysterious, you know, friendly old man as kind of like this Odin style character, this, you know, invincible god. So I don't know. It had that kind of, or the Asgardians when they were pretending to be humans in SG-1.
Yeah.
Like that kind of feel. And so,
If y'all haven't seen Stargate SG-1...
yeah, exactly. So there's, sorry, lots of spoilers for everything. That was like 30 years ago, man.
yeah,
Not
no,
really,
yeah.
but still.
It's not far now.
Right, we're getting on up there. But
Yeah.
yeah, this had a different feel to it than most of the other ones, which I'm not saying is a bad thing in any form or fashion. I still really like this episode, but it did feel a little bit noticeably different.
Sure, yeah. I think that you're right. Maybe you're not. Sorry, I'm
You're
trying
checking
to look
directors?
through to check. Yeah,
Yeah.
They don't really make it easy, believe it or not.
Fair enough.
So they do switch directors, but it looks like episode 5, episode 6 are the same director.
Okay.
Maybe those are the only. Maybe those are the only two
That they did?
that are the same. So yeah, I could definitely seeing a style change there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I thought it was also kind of cool because, I mean, they're going on a dragon hunt, and it had this almost D&D mission feel to it. It almost felt like a live-action D&D campaign, with The Witcher going on a hunt for a big dragon, like with magic and a sorceress with him, and a bunch of dwarves, and then whatever the Ravagers were. I guess they're just like mean people.
They're just asses.
Yeah, and speaking of asses, a knight who's a complete moron.
Yes.
And so, like, it very much had a D&D feel to it, with all your different classes there, going off on a quest, and down to the whole, like, scaling across a cliff face for a shortcut.
Right.
Like, I don't know, it seemed a little different than the other episodes, but not in a bad way, because it had a lot of these tropes in fantasy that you get in other places, but done in a different way here.
Right. Yeah, and they were. And I think that I think that it does have a different feel. And I don't know if that was like necessity or if it was just kind of a creative thing. Like, it just makes me curious.
Yeah.
If they're like, well, we need to have Yennefer and Geralt like spend more time together.
Well,
What are we going to make them do?
I think it was good for the show, too, because there's always that fear for me as a fan that if you're going to set up a romantic relationship, then that's fine. But, like, don't make me wait 6 episodes for there to be the next, like, spark of romanticism between those two characters.
Right.
Like, you draw it out over 10 seasons like Friends or something. I stopped caring a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like, you know, in a show like this, I would expect within the next 2 episodes for there to be another encounter with Yen. And I'm glad that they fulfilled that right away.
Yeah,
And it
like
went
ASAP.
way faster than I expected. my God, they're like professing their love for each other and just like staring into each other's eyes deeply. Like it went fast. And then all went to shit.
And then it went away fast.
Yeah. So let's get into some of the details. Yeah, there's a dude who wears like scales,
Yeah.
and turns out is a golden dragon.
Yeah.
And the dude's name is Borscht 3 Jackdaws.
Okay.
Yeah. That's my point. Like this one goes very fantasy compared to the rest of them. You get multiple monsters in this.
Yeah.
You actually get to see what the Dopplers look like when they're not in human form.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You get to see both a dead and a living dragon.
Mm-hmm.
One of them that wasn't supposed to exist is supposed to be a myth.
Right.
That weird feral chupacabra looking creature that was
Yeah.
starving, and like it was sad that asshole knight just like chopped to pieces
Yeah.
for no reason.
Yeah, it was just standing there, like, give it some food, bro.
Yeah, exactly. It was only there because it was starving to death.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a lot of stuff happened in this that may not have a whole lot of bearing on the rest of the show, at least for anytime soon. It feels like, but
I don't know.
I'm sure there's definitely stuff.
The
But
dragon dropped some knowledge bombs at the very end that are
Right.
going to have some impact.
that is true.
You did also find kind of a time frame of this again,
Yeah,
that this is not happening.
this is happening. This is happening way before. This is not happening at the same time as the series storyline's happening.
Right.
in
It is
this show.
happening. This is happening. The dragon hunt is actually happening like right before the fall of Sintra.
Right. Yeah.
So we're getting close to the convergence
Mm-hmm.
of these two storylines.
And we get some really cool information, some like exposition, because when they're sitting around that campfire with all the different dragon hunting groups, like we get some really good information. We find out really clearly that the Nilfgaardians are basically annexing or taking over everyone around them, and everyone's
Going Roman Empire style.
right, and everyone is afraid that they're going to keep moving across the entirety of the land.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. Yeah. They're also zealots. They're religious zealots.
Yep.
So there is that aspect to them, which it shows you a lot with at the end.
Right.
With the Nilfgaardians who are dealing with the Doppler.
Yeah.
And then you also end up getting a bunch of information about dragons. You find out a little
Dragons
about...
are real.
Yeah, exactly. You find out a little about mutations. There's just a whole bunch of info, man. Like this it gives you a lot of background.
Yeah. It does.
Dopplers, I believe, are allergic to silver.
Yes.
Okay, it's silver. Gotcha.
Yeah. Because interestingly enough, after, I don't remember what his name is, but after he had chopped up the whole tavern of people, and I can't remember her name. What's her name? The
sorceress that's working with the Nilfgaardians.
Yeah.
Her name is Fringilla.
Frangilla. Yeah, that's the
and his
one.
name is Kahir.
Kahir.
Cahir.
Well, whatever his
That's
name
what I'm calling it.
is. Kahir. Kahir, everywhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was while he was getting patched up. That was what Frangilla said, was that you could have easily just given them the silver test. And he was like, well, I had steel
that's right.
handy.
That's right.
And it was like, yeah, you did.
You slaughtered
You
everyone.
just killed a bunch of unarmed, innocent people.
Yeah.
Way to go, dickhead.
That's zealotry for you.
Yeah.
One thing about that, too, that I wanted to bring up was near the end, Kahir makes a statement that if I might not get it the exact wording right, but nigh is the time for sword and axe.
Yes.
That's actually a line from the like animated intro in The Witcher 3,
Oh,
the video
okay.
game. I'm sure it's in the books as well and stuff like that, but I haven't read them.
Right.
But yeah, that's something that I was like, hey, I recognize that.
Right.
And ended up looking it up. I was like, yep, that was exactly where that was. So it was kind of cool that they were pulling that from that influence as well, like direct lines.
Yeah, that is cool. And there at least some cohesiveness
Exactly.
across all three
Something for the fans.
platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Little
something
Easter
for the
egg.
fans. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we also have in this instance is when Ciri and her friend, her companion that's been kind of
Dara.
protecting her.
Yeah, his name's Dara.
Yeah, they split ways.
Yeah.
He's a little emotional.
Well, I don't know if he's totally wrong, man. Like, if he's like Ciri seems to be followed by bad people and tragedy. And
She's been running away. That is what she's been doing this whole time.
right. But I just kind of get the feeling Dara's like, man, you're gonna get my ass killed. Sorry. Like, I'm tired of this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Because he's not being chased by everyone in the world who wants to kill people.
No.
And so he can kind of just not go with her and not die,
Yeah, he can totally.
which is what he finally decided to do.
Yeah. I think that's probably a little less noble, running away and hiding somewhere. But, what do I know?
True. It's also more likely to survive that way. He's also an elf.
Yes.
And
And his
people are not as it's a lot easier to be noble when you're the ones doing all the running around and most of the killing, and as humans at least.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the elves probably should do more hiding and rebuilding of their nation and stuff like that. Now, helping Ciri might not be a bad way to do it.
I would think that it would probably be the best way to do it.
Ingratiating yourself to a future ruler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a thought
Right.
as far as that goes, but also leaving her there alone to fend for herself when you already know she's not totally up to that.
She is, but just nobody knows about it.
Well,
She
is.
really gets upset. She'll just rip
Oh,
the
well,
ground
yeah.
open and suck you into a vast hole into the earth.
Okay, fair enough. That is true there, but as
She's
far
a
as
wild mage.
yes,
Like, that is, she's like the definition of a wild mage.
yeah, but she can't control that,
Right. Exactly.
and so she gets into situations where she could easily die.
True.
And like if you get caught in the woods and tied up to a tree, like I feel like
Yeah, she's got a little too much naivety.
yeah.
I am curious who tied her up to the
Although,
tree, though.
she wasn't the
The Doppler?
the Doppler did.
Okay, that's just so weird. He like ties her to the tree, and then poses as her without killing her, and goes back to Cahir to go, wait a minute, you didn't tell me who she was? I'm gonna stab you. Like that. A lot of questions that go unanswered.
Sure, I agree.
I still don't know who the hell Ciri is in the way that they keep referencing her.
Right.
Because everybody else seems to know her destiny.
Yeah, they're like she's going to save the world or some. I don't know.
Well, it seems like there's both sides of it. There's the side of like the white light that a few of the mages have defected to with Nilfgaardian. Nilfgaard. They follow some white light or something like that is like the kind of ideal in their religion.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
So there's that, but then, if I'm not mistaken, there's the mages have talked about Ciri to a degree, if I remember correctly. I'm not 100% sure on that. But then you also have all of the stuff that was happening with her parents and with her grandparents, and the law of surprise and the destiny of Geralt being her caretaker with the
Yeah.
fall of the city. And like, it just seems like everybody else has an idea of what she's supposed to do except for her and us, the audience.
Right. Yeah,
So
exactly.
I'm just getting real curious, man.
You have the fine girl, and other than that, that's all I know.
Yeah. Well, fair enough.
So we also, at the end, we get hit with the bombshell that the knowledge bomb dropped by the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
That Yennefer will never heal her. What did he say?
Oh, before that, he reveals that the reason why their lots have been thrown together is because of the wish that Geralt made to try to save Yennefer's life.
Yes, but we still don't know what it was.
We still don't know what the words of the wish were.
Yeah,
but she instantly took that as he wished the way that things are going now to happen.
Right.
Where
like I wish for her to be with me forever.
Right. Where he indicated that that's not what he wished for. He was wishing to save her life.
Right.
And so, but how he did that could be very important because in a world like The Witcher, a wish doesn't come without consequences.
Yeah,
as you saw with the way like Dandelion's throat closed up when he wanted him to be quiet.
Right.
And so there's always like a dark side to wishes and stuff like this. But then they ended up after that and they started bickering. That's when you get the even bigger knowledge bomb from the dragon, which is like, oh, wait, dragons know the future.
Yeah, apparently
it's also a new thing, or at least golden dragons do.
Yeah.
And what were they saying?
Oh, that
he.
Well, yeah. That her. What I'm trying to remember exactly how he phrased it. Anyway, she'll never be able to have kids again.
Yeah.
And, that was the pain for her, and the pain for him was they'll never be together.
That the last thing that Geralt wants is to lose Yennefer, but that's exactly what'll happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said I'll give you both pain now to save you from pain later.
Right.
And bam. Okay. Well, aren't we happy?
Yeah.
And then Geralt turns into a dick to Jaskier.
He's always been a dick to Jaskier, and Jasker's always been a good friend to him.
No, but I mean, that's a little next level.
It was.
I mean, other than like swelling your throat shut.
I also, if I was Jaskier, I would have shut the hell up. Like, Geralt continually says, leave me alone when he's in a bad mood.
Yeah.
And like after that, Jaskier should have known, like, you know what? I'm not going to say shit to Geralt this time. I'm just going to go and sit by the fire for a couple hours. Let Geralt brood.
Yeah.
Like, he's been around him for ages now.
Yeah.
That he should have known that was a bad call to go run in his mouth at that point.
Yeah.
Because Mr. I like to brood in silence, it does not like a conversation after a blowout with his girlfriend.
He likes to lash out irrationally.
Right. And then Dandelion gets all but hurt afterwards when what obviously was going to happen happens.
Yeah.
You get to see some redemption from Geralt, at least from the audience's perspective, because you do see him close his eyes like, damn it, I didn't want to do that, you know?
Yeah.
But he can't bring himself to say I'm sorry, so he just stares off into the distance longer.
Yeah.
But it was nice subtle acting on Cavill's part. I like that.
Yeah. It was good to know that he does. I mean, you already know. No matter what he says, you already know that he does have a friendship.
Yeah, he has feelings.
Yeah, it's not that was the whole thing they were pushing at the beginning, is that, you know, Witchers don't have feelings. They don't feel anything. And the more you watch, the more you understand that that's obviously not true.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think that kind of covers it for my side on this one, other than the fact that I've now decided that I don't want to be friends with dragons.
Yeah, dragons suck.
There may be some good parts, but apparently I'm going to end up having to kill a whole bunch of people. And then, like, I'm going to find out the shit that I really just would rather have not known and found out in real life. Like,
right.
Just let my life play out, man.
Could you save that?
Could you just not crush everything right this minute? Thanks for opening your mouth right there. If you hadn't said jack about my wish, we would have all been good.
Right. Yeah.
At least for a little while. Let my life play out, bro.
I would greatly appreciate it. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't. There's nothing else that I can kind of think of.
All right. Well, this was a good episode, even though it kind of broke the mold from the previous ones. And I am definitely curious to see if we get a little bit more information about Ciri's destiny in the next one. Maybe some similar timelines for the two of their escapades would be nice. You know,
Yeah.
see what Geralt's doing while Ciri's running, and you know, maybe that they're going to get close to meeting up.
Right.
So hopefully you enjoyed this, and make sure you like and subscribe, and please join us next time on Were You Not Entertained?